Rory de venir pour parler du film Tusk. Et on peut l'applaudir aussi. Hein, merci. Thank you. So.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Wow. So we can do it in French. Ah, too bad. Tusk. At RCA, there is a simplicity of the graphics that was really important for you. This simplicity of a graphic.
Yeah, well, because the way I made it was, I sort of designed the characters in 3D before I really thought about how the whole thing would look, which is probably not the best idea, but it kind of worked out in the end because then I was working with these flat colours and just keeping it really simple, and it's all very kind of flat. The camera doesn't really move that much.
When I watched the movie at the beginning, you think it's a kind of a comedy, maybe try to laugh a little bit, and more you go into the movie and it's not so funny. Well, for me, I thought it was like a real discourse, you know, about differences and everything. Or did you write that? Did you really want it to have this chronology?
I don't know, it was weird when I was making it. I didn't really think too much about the tone. I had this story, and then, like you say, there's elements that are kind of funny, but then by the end, they're kind of not, and you feel bad almost for laughing, because it's kind of, I don't know, I guess there's so many different analogies that can be drawn between the mammoth character and real people that I always had the idea that she sort of represented maybe like an elderly person who's kind of trapped in a, but I didn't want to get too specific about it.
That's it, you can think about other things. You can think about immigration, of course, somebody outside of this country. You can think about old people, you can think of, it's again, like we said about Lisa, your film is open. I mean, if you want to see really a kind of a funny movie, you even want that. That's why I was thinking of how did you write the story? You have a did you have a screenplay?
Yeah, there was a script, and I think some of the funny elements, it's just, when I write things, I end up putting little jokes in anyway, even if maybe they shouldn't be there, or it's inappropriate, but I think it makes it more relatable, because even sad things are funny, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, what about the voice? There's a really melancholic voice.
Yeah, I was working with an actress. I wasn't really sure, because I was thinking initially maybe to go with a more obvious voice and be much more, you know, like make it sound bigger or older, or, you know. But then she just sort of delivered it straight, and it was more interesting because it's unexpected to hear like just like a normal woman's voice from this big thing, and it kind of sells the idea more that she's, although you know she looks completely out of place. She's inside. You know, she doesn't understand what's going on, I guess. Or, yeah.
And I get the fact that there is no music. Almost no music, if I don't make a mistake.
Yeah, I think right at the end there's some music, but for the whole film, yeah.
And it's really maybe more real. I mean, than some music that would accompany us to one point or another.
Yeah, well, I think some films, especially animated films, that tend to have music throughout, and sometimes it works really well, but I think often you can kind of get lost. I don't know, in the thing. Where I wanted to play with the contrast, so there are some moments that are quite long where there's very little sound at all, I guess. And it's quite slow, but then it contrasts when it all kind of, you know, she gets angry or, yeah, so the sound is quite important in having that quiet moments and then loud moments, but having it kind of
Did you work the sound before the screenplay? Or before the animation, or at the end of the film? When did you?
No, I did the animation first, but I always had it in my mind that I was going to have, particularly the moment where in the office where she like flips the table. That was going to be like the big moment. So up to that point, it's all been quite either soft or funny or slow, and then you're like, oh, okay. It's a bit. I think it has more of an impact when it contrasts with the previous scenes.
There's something happened in the Royal College of Art. John Ashworth just said that she was leaving the school. We always thought of Royal College of Art as this incredible school where there is a lot of freedom. Is it true? I mean, is it really? It's in fact you are so diversity in this school.
Yeah, I think that's the best thing about the school really is how, and they accept people from lots of different backgrounds. So you have some people who've done animation before. I studied like CG, computer animation previously. Some people are much more traditional. Some people just did fine art or even like architecture or theatre design, and you get all these different people kind of put together. And then there's this really strong environment of helping each other and teaching each other, whilst also being allowed to kind of work on your own thing. So I think it's the most important thing about the place really, is that you're given basically free rein to do what you want and to make mistakes. And if something doesn't work, that's good. It means you won't do it again, or you won't find something that does work until you try it.
How many years is Rory College of Art? How many years you study?
It's just a 2-year master's course. Yeah.
So it's really short.
Yeah, but I guess so people have already done a BA before they come here, so they kind of, you're supposed to sort of know what you're doing a little bit more, I guess, or you've tried things out before, but then, I don't know, it goes very quickly, but also I feel like it's very long at the same time, you know. I did a lot of stuff and I've changed a lot. And
you have a lot of workshop or things like that during the...
Yeah, there's workshops and there's lots of like visiting lecturers and stuff, and then yeah, and there's a lot of time just to work on your own things so you can get a lot done.
Great Britain, I mean, for animation was great in the 80s, a little bit in the 90s, and now Channel 4 don't give a lot of money. Yeah. And a lot of incredible students go out of Royal College of Art or NFTS and they do more commercial stuff or series. Not, well, yeah. Sometimes good, sometimes less good. Yeah.
I think yeah. Well, it's the whole country. I guess there's like just a change in how, I guess, the idea of having government funding for films doesn't really exist in the UK anymore. So it's all the interesting stuff is commercial work. So all the really good people end up making commercials, which it's great for commercials, but they could be making really interesting stuff for themselves. So and when you look at like the BAFTA nominations, for example, they're almost always student films because the only people making short films that are any good are students, and then they have to leave and join a studio.
So what are you planning? What did you do after school, after Royal College of Art?
I don't know. Well, I finished this year. I made this one in my first year. So now, I don't know. I've just finished, so it's a bit...
Also, that was your first, so maybe...
Yeah,
we'll
so
see.
I've got... Yeah, like I just try and do a bit of freelance work and see how it goes, I guess. I want to make more short films, obviously, but you kind of... There's no money.
So we hope that we will be able to make a lot of short films.
Sure.
Est-ce qu'il y a une question? Do you have a question? No? Sure? Well, cool. Merci. Thank you so much.
Merci.
Merci beaucoup. And a drawing, of course, just behind. Thank you.